What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the WrestleManiac UK show. Myself, Mex. Hope everyone's doing well. I am absolutely exhausted. I don't know about everyone this past week, but me, I'm absolutely exhausted. Haven't stopped since about Thursday or Friday, especially. Like, if it's not been shooting content for various channels or whatever, like it's just been non-stop with family stuff and that. And then I would almost refer to this as like the weekend of hell in regards to wrestling. Like, don't get me wrong, we've had a great week of wrestling. The shows, the amount of shows we've had and all of that kind of stuff this past week. But it's been too much. This weekend, it's been far too much. Like, they planned for all of these shows to be this week, and we had AEW Collision, we had Battle of the Belts, which I haven't watched as of yet. What else did we have? We had the TNA show, Hard to Kill. We had New Japan Battle in the Valley. Bruv, it's just been too much. SmackDown as well, if you want to count from Friday, like absolutely crazy. So yeah, we're gonna get into kind of discussing everything that's gone on over the past week, especially this past weekend. And to be honest, I don't feel like there's a better place to start than Battle in the Valley. That was a really good show. All in all, that was a really good show, but I was pulled out of my seat from the beginning. The show opened up with a 6-man tag, fairly straightforward. You kind of knew what was going to happen. Shota Umino, who is, I guess, being groomed as one of the future stars of New Japan Pro Wrestling, he gets the win, and he's celebrating with the fans, and I would say over celebrating, but like I say, because he is supposed to be this next poster boy of New Japan, I didn't think too much into it. I thought, okay, fair enough. Like, he's really milking it in, and they're trying to make him come across like, he is the next big thing here in Japan. As he's walking around and, shaking hands, taking high fives, taking pictures, and all of this kind of stuff, you saw a masked figure walk to like the barricade of the fans and attack Shota Umino. Shota Umino's floored. The masked figure jumps the barricade, wrestles off the security and the young boys and all of that kind of stuff that are trying to hold him back, and continues to attack Umino. And while his head is down, he pulls off his mask, and that attacker is Jack Perry, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, who has not been sighted since All In August 2023. Obviously, we know what happened at All In. Him and CM Punk allegedly got into it backstage, and yeah, he was suspended along with CM Punk, who was eventually, completely let go of, like, as we know, now wrestles for the WWE. But Jack Perry hasn't been called back to work as of yet, hasn't been brought back into the fray in AEW since then, since August. So Jack Perry completely, attacks Shota Umino. The crowd are booing him and stuff. There is a lot of shock. There's a lot of shock because, please correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as my knowledge goes, this is, his debut in New Japan. He's never been there before. And the boos are raining in, and he's got his arms aloft and everything, feeling real proud of himself. And he then proceeds to pull out paperwork from his inside jacket, which at the top you can identify quite easily the AEW logo. The commentators let us know that is his AEW contract, and he tears the contract in the middle of the ring and just drops it on the pieces on Shota Umino, almost signifying that he's no longer following this AEW contract. He's done, or whatever your case is. Now, I highly doubt it. We all know New Japan, AEW, they do have a relationship together, a working relationship. So this must be some type of, stunt, or maybe it's indirectly a way to bring him back onto AEW TV. Um, and following this, he then pulls out a black armband from his pocket as well, which reads scapegoat, and he puts it on. Now, I don't know how Jack Perry could be the scapegoat. I assume he's referring to the situation with Punk, but I don't know how he can be the scapegoat when he still works at a company and the other guy doesn't. So yeah, I don't really understand the scapegoat bit of it, unless this is just him doing some heel work. He'll try and say, you suspended me for this long, you're blaming me for it, blah blah blah. I don't know how he's gonna try and spin this, but yeah, not really the scapegoat in this situation. I wouldn't agree with that. But hey, it's very intriguing. I think it's very intriguing to one, see him in New Japan. Two, the whole AEW angle of ripping up his supposed contract and calling himself the scapegoat. And number three, going for Shota Umino, who, like I said, the highest esteem he's held in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This could be a match down the line. They're doing these crossover shows. They're doing the shows quite frequently in the US now. Obviously, that doesn't preclude Jungle Boy going over to Japan. Obviously, this was a New Japan show, but it was in San Jose in America, in like California. Could be a Forbidden Door match. This could be an AEW Forbidden Door match. Like, I think this is a really cool way so far, anyway, because we don't know how this is ever going to turn out. But this is a really cool way to bring Jungle Boy back into the fray. He's ripped up his contract. He looks like he's doing something else. We'll see if there's any kind of chat with Tony Khan or anything like that, as to you can't tear up your contract just like that, or your contract's not actually expired. You can't tear up your contract. You have to come back to work at this, that, and the other. We'll see how this plays out. But yeah, it's almost like two storylines to be set up here. This AEW one, as well as the Shota Umino story, which could be fun. Because yeah, they're very comparable in terms of just young talents, a lot of upside, probably mean a lot to their relative companies. I would say Umino means probably more right now than Jack Perry does to AEW, but I'm sure AEW was just following the correct protocol in terms of the punishment they gave Jack Perry, and they always plan to retain his services, bring him back in, etc., etc. So AEW have also really kind of backed throughout his career and stuff like that. They've given Jungle Boy Jack Perry the big matches. He's been a tag team champion. They've invested in him somewhat with this heel turn. They're given him another opportunity following this situation with Punk. So yeah, he definitely means a lot to them, and it's very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see, like I say, where this particular story, or two stories with Shota and AEW, where they both go. So yeah, that was, like I say, right at the beginning, after the first match on the Battle in the Valley card. And that Battle in the Valley card was really good. It was great to see Trish Adora take on Julia. Julia retained the New Japan Strong Women's title, so I guess it kind of puts on the back burner some of those rumors that she's going to WWE, because she's still champion over there. So at least I guess we're gonna have to wait for her to drop it before those rumors are fueled anymore. We also had Eddie Kingston going up against Gabe Kidd, rabid Gabe Kidd, I call him, because the guy is crazy. That match ended in a count out, because they were just out the ring. Just when Eddie was about to get in the ring, Gabe goaded Eddie to come back out. called him fat, I think he did, or something like that. And yeah, the whole crowd went, oh, and Eddie came back out and they're just scrapping on the outside, and then the bell went and they were both counted out. So Eddie retains his title. But I think Gabe was left standing strong after a beatdown of Eddie. We also had a terrific no DQ match between Moxley and Shingo Takagi. Like, honestly, that is early doors, of course. It's bloody 14th of January as I'm recorded, but that is match of the year candidate. That's one that's in the hat. At least we know we're going to get quite a few candidates this year, as always, but that one is going in the hat right now, because that was really, really a lot of fun, dangerous, both men putting it all on the line. Moxley gets the all important win at the end of it, and following that, he said that there's only one thing that I want this year, and he screams Naito, and the whole crowd goes wild. And he says it's time. So I think it's been confirmed. Yeah. I think it's in April. Yeah, it's in April. I think it's the weekend after WrestleMania. We're getting Naito versus John Moxley for the IWGP heavyweight title in Windy City Riot. Again, one of the New Japan shows that they do in America. So yeah, that'll be a really good one. And then to kind of finish off the show, we got in the main event Will Ospreay versus Okada, the two top boys in the company. Just a really great match, as they always deliver. Like, they're showing the win-loss records of these guys in their bouts from like what, 2015 or something, and Will Ospreay only has like 2 wins out of like 10 matches with Okada. I think this one made it 11 wins to Okada because Okada got the win. Following the match, though, we saw Bullet Club War Dogs come in. They laid an attack on Will Ospreay and the other United Empire guys. They fought them off eventually. We're getting United Empire versus Bullet Club War Dogs in a cage match very, very soon. The first cage match in New Japan in like 20 or 30 years or something like that. Something ridiculous. So it's literally going to be a cage match with like 10 men in the ring. Like, it's going to be interesting how they do this. They're referring to it as a cage as opposed to like a war games type situation. So if it's literally a cage around a ring and 10 men inside that, that's going to be something, but we'll see in it. So yeah, that's I guess what Will Ospreay promoted, as well as kind of saying, this was his last singles match with Okada. He has that multi-man cage match, like I said, and of just obviously giving thanks and being very grateful about everyone supporting his career, his what, 8 or 9 years that he's been in New Japan. So yeah, just supporting his career, and that America is going to be home for him for at least the next few years. So the San Jose crowd, etc., we'll see a lot more of him going forward. So yeah, a really nice ending to that Battle in the Valley show, because also should I say, with Will Ospreay signing off his singles career, at least for the meantime. I'm sure he's going to be back and forth in New Japan throughout the year and stuff. It's just not going to be full time. And I think the commentators are quite obvious with that. They kept saying, at least his full time commitments to New Japan are done now, sort of thing. So it's definitely just a thing of as and when he'll be in New Japan, getting back in and, doing what he needs to do there. So yeah, that was all the happenings, the main happenings anyway, of Battle in the Valley. Like I say, over TNA Hard to Kill. I guess one of the big stories, which kind of leads into what has been spoken about, we talked about it on Wrestle Extra this past week. Trinity, it's done. She dropped the Knockouts title to Jordan Grace. So it brings to the end a really, really good run for Trinity. But it's one of them ones where, what else do you have to do? The platform is the platform. It's not going to grow much bigger within the next 1 year, I would say. Although the TNA rebranding looks a very positive one, I just don't feel like, in terms of the competitors and stuff like that, she's faced the best of the bunch. Like, and it's a very good bunch. She's literally faced them all. And like I said on Wrestle Extra on Tuesday, so much so that the likes of Deonna Purrazzo, she's done an Impact. She's had her AEW debut at this point. So it's like, what else is left for me here? She drops the title to Jordan Grace, who re-signed with the company about a year ago or so, I think. And it looks like all rumors have basically been confirmed with that. She's worked maybe her last dates, and she will be WWE bound this month. So I guess expect to see her re-emerge in the Rumble. I doubt they will show her on TV before that. I wouldn't really see the point. Just put her in the Rumble, let that be the surprise, and then she's back on the TV screens and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a really, really good run for Trinity, though. It's been a very, very good. I think she's shown what a lot of fans didn't get to see or couldn't imagine in WWE, because she never got opportunities. And hopefully this is a way for her to get more opportunities in the WWE, now that she's kind of proven it on another stage, proven it consistently, nearly over the span of a year. She's been very, very good. And of course, the fans caught a certain Mercedes Moné and Bailey in attendance watching. It wasn't within the programming and stuff. This was literally just, they were up hiding, watching their girl Trinity do her thing in the ring. And they were caught, on fan footage, fan photos and things of that nature. So yeah. But the main event of this match saw a new champion be crowned. I think Moose beat is it Chris Sabin? That's world champion. Was it Alex Shelley? I can't remember. One of them world champion. And then we saw Moose didn't get to celebrate long at all. Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, comes out of the crowd. And he's standing behind Moose while he's got a whole Titron already playing and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very interesting that we saw Nick Nemeth turn up in New Japan like a week ago or whatever it was, and now he's here in TNA. And obviously we know TNA New Japan, they've got a relationship. Straight away, Moose goes to attack Nick Nemeth, and Ziggler or Nemeth fights back and lays him out, gets out the ring. He goes into the crowd, and the t-shirt he's wearing on top, he rips it, and it reveals a TNA t-shirt or vest under what he was initially wearing, kind of confirming that I guess he's TNA now. He's arrived, and this is a big get. This is a really, really big get. I wouldn't quite call it, as they were advertising, worlds collide. I mean, he's a free agent, so it's like, what world is colliding? You see what I mean? But yeah, he turned up. He's here. He looks like he's here to stay. He is officially the biggest star that company has. There's no question about it. It's not a disrespect. He is the biggest star in that company. As of, turning up and kind of confirming, like I said, with that t-shirt thing, that he is in TNA. So it's good, man. I'm really looking forward to this Ziggler run. Like, there is enough, what's the word? There is enough examples of how to do this properly, how to raise your stock, how to raise your profile, how to make a lot of money doing it as well. There's a lot of examples, successful examples. There is the likes of Matt Cardona, who's currently still going on this run, and he hasn't signed to anywhere big like a New Japan or a TNA. He may have showed up in these places. He's mainly doing the other indies, but as he said, he's making a lot of money. He's making more money than he ever made in WWE. that's him. That was whatever his wage was on in WWE. Obviously, Ziggler in WWE, I believe he was one of the top earners, within like the top 10 earners in that company. So, but Matt Cardona is a great example of how to do this and be relevant and make it make sense. Obviously, we know the McIntyres that have done this, or Drew Galloway when he done it. We know Cody Rhodes when he done it. There's a lot of very good examples, and I really hope that you know Nick Nemeth is doing this to maybe circle round to maybe one of the quote unquote big boys in AEW and WWE. Like, I would like to see him in these places eventually again, but coming in like at the top, like be a top guy sort of thing. Like the fans are clamoring to see Dolph Ziggler back, or clamoring to get Nick Nemeth in AEW, and he has like a top of the card program waiting for him with some really talented stars. Otherwise, I don't need him in AEW or WWE again. If it's gonna be mediocre, if it's gonna be like, you know, not getting out of gear 2 and just, doing all the greatest hits and the character doesn't evolve, then he can stay on the indies and see out his days, and that's cool. That's cool with him, and it's cool with me. But if he really, really pushes himself and tries to go to another dimension, tries to bring in a different character and all that kind of stuff, would love to see him back in the WWE, or see him, get a good chance, get a AEW in that main event scene. Still think he has a lot to offer. We're gonna see on this current run that he is on. Just taking some of the comments. Big up everyone that's watching live. Ches Nasty. Hope you're well. He says, happy to see TNA get Nick Nemeth. Yeah, it's a very good grab for them. He said TNA is the perfect place where Nemeth can display his talents and help grow the company. Yeah, it's like I say, for him, it's a great move. For the company, it's a great move. He is undoubtedly the biggest star in that company now. There is no discussion. There is no debate. He's the biggest. And that comes with an element of now, responsibility. He's got to take that on his shoulders and see, if he can really squeeze this company for everything it's worth and improve its profile in the public eye. I think he's got the minerals to do it. I think he's really got the attributes to do it. This is just day one, so he's got to get started. He's got to feel at home. He's got to get his teeth sunk into it, and yeah, there could be a lot more for him from here. So yeah, it's good to see these guys. I didn't mention Mustafa Ali. He turned up during that Battle in the Valley show as well. He turned up on a vignette. He wasn't in the flesh. He was in a vignette, and he's called out Hiromu Takahashi, and they've got a match for the Windy City Riot pay-per-view in April. That's going to be in Chicago, which is his hometown, Mustafa Ali's hometown. So that'll be a really good New Japan debut for him. There's a lot of good stuff happening, man. There's a lot of good stuff happening. And even in TNA again, I'm sorry, I'm jumping back and forth with the debuts and stuff. But we saw Dana Brooke turn up with her new character, Ash by Elegance. I think I remember that correctly. Ash by Elegance. I think that's what she's called. Now, one thing I'll say about this character, and probably the whole world has said this, and we can all see it straight away. It resembles the Tony Storm, timeless Tony Storm character. It resembles it a lot. Like, timeless Tony Storm is happening right now. This isn't even something of the past that she's like reinvented. It is happening right now. And to have her come out and call herself Ash by Elegance, I don't know how I feel about the name. And the gimmick is very similar to what I'm seeing being done very well right now by Tony Storm. Um, yeah, it's a bit of a funny one to kind of almost replicate the same gimmick, and someone's doing it very well right now. Um, I'm surprised she wasn't, no one thought to kind of, I don't know, um, warn her against it or anything like that. It's a weird one. She went for it, fit with a butler, like Luther is with Tony Storm. She had a butler next to her as well. She was front row for the Knockouts World Championship match between Jordan Grace and Trinity. Very weird. I just thought, like, don't we have this gimmick right now in wrestling already? I guess we can see where she takes it and see her spin on it, but I just felt it was very weird because we currently have that all already. But yeah, like I say, man, weekend full of debuts, returns, all sorts, and good wrestling across those shows. Really good wrestling across those shows. I'm just gonna skip over to Monday Night Raw because we have some intriguing stuff happening this week. Now, we've all seen and talked about the Tony Khan stuff at the beginning of the week. Hmm. This guy and his Twitter, his tweets, his X's, whatever you want to call them, like this. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it because it's one of them ones. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. But he has done, I guess, a sterling job in promoting Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins for Monday Night Raw this week. I feel like this match is now going to be 10 times whatever they would have initially planned it to be. Can Jinder Mahal beat Seth Rollins? I think, of course, he can. I genuinely think, of course, he can, because ultimately, Jinder Mahal beat Randy Orton to become world champion. So he can beat a Seth Rollins. Will they do it? I mean, if they really want to get people talking, if they really want to like shut up Tony Khan, it could be something to, really get the people going. It would probably rile up quite a few people, and WWE have been in the good graces of quite a few people recently. So I can't imagine them, just doing this just for some heat on Jinder or for some heat to get at Tony Khan. However, of course, if we think a bit deeper about it, if Jinder was champion, there's a Drew McIntyre in this story. And obviously McIntyre and Jinder are loosely connected. That could be a match. It could be. Let's be honest. And then some have said that CM Punk and Seth Rollins doesn't need a title, that they can have that match if they need to have that match, and it doesn't need a title. So there are possibilities. I don't think WWE will go there. I think, if anything, they might just give this match more time, let Jinder get in more stuff so he looks like a real credible challenger against Seth Rollins. But at the end of the day, Seth Rollins retains. The right thing to do is for Seth Rollins to retain. And let's just not go into this match thinking that we need to rile up the internet or rile up AEW fans or rile up Tony Khan. Let's just do this match as it should be done. Yeah, Seth Rollins goes and has a very good title defense against a good challenger in Jinder Mahal. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. Let's not join, let's not get in the petty bag and, try to upset people. I don't think there's a need. If it wasn't the plan from day one, we don't need to do it. So yeah, I expect Seth Rollins to retain, and yeah, we go from there. I don't think Seth Rollins is having a match at Royal Rumble. It doesn't look like it, at least. They might set up something last minute. at best, maybe there's some type of interference or disqualification that happens here on Monday Night Raw, and then they have this match at the Royal Rumble. Otherwise, yeah, you're probably to see Seth Rollins at the Royal Rumble, you'll probably be looking at him losing the title and then entering the Rumble match. So, yeah, there could be a little something that prolongs this match that happens. But other than that, I would like to probably think that this program is done by the end of Monday Night Raw. We've still got Seth Rollins as champion, and Jinder Mahal's little 2 to 3 week stint on TV is done, and maybe you'll see him again in May or sometime in the summer, June or July or something like that. The other thing I wanted to discuss was that Drew McIntyre and CM Punk promo that opened up Raw. This was excellent. This was really good. And Drew McIntyre really was able to hang with CM Punk. He was saying stuff to CM Punk, like he's been saying to Seth Rollins, that really hit home, where it's like, you know, you can't just come in here and mug me off ultimately. It was really good to see him be strong, not rest on his laurels, and take it to CM Punk, who is known for talking, sort of thing. I said it before his title match with Seth Rollins, the last one on Raw, that he could win here, especially because it was day one. This day one Raw, I thought this could be a really good way to kind of cap off this show. If Drew McIntyre got a win or the title here, I still think his recent performances deserve his name to remain in the hat for the title. I know right now Seth Rollins has it. I know CM Punk is gonna put his name in this hat for this title, whether it's by winning the Rumble or wherever. Obviously, he wants Seth Rollins anyway. Drew McIntyre's name needs to be in the hat because he's rebuilding himself. Like, everyone said, oh, Drew's been boring, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we can't lie. This guy's not boring. This current iteration of Drew McIntyre, he's not boring. So we need to put him in and around it. Now, it's difficult because, like I said, Seth Rollins is currently champion. His name's in the hat. CM Punk, he's went for Seth Rollins. He's saying he's going to win the Rumble. I pretty much believe him. He's going to win the Rumble. So his name's in the hat. Drew McIntyre has been the last challenger, I guess, for this title. And he's beefing Rollins. He's beefing CM Punk. Like, his name's in the hat. We can't forget Damian Priest. As much as I feel like they're making him look a bit like a chump with all of these failed cash-ins, and I know that's the name of the game, that's what happens and stuff like that, but I feel like there's a way you can do it which still retains dignity for the person that's trying to cash in. They're just making him look a bit silly, like a bit of a doofus with the briefcase. But as long as he's got that briefcase, his name is in that. Then loosely, you've got other people like a Gunther and stuff like that, which will be in and around it. So these are the names that I'm kind of looking at within the next 3 months or so. What's going to happen with some of these guys in and around this title picture? And I still pretty much believe Damian Priest is going to cash in successfully. It's just a matter of when. I think it will definitely be after Mania, before Money in the Bank, obviously. But it'll be in that stretch. I think that's where it's going to happen for Damian Priest. But of course, on Monday night, he's got another opportunity because Seth Rollins is going to be out there. Jinder Mahal is going to be out there. There's going to be a title match taking place. It could be somewhere, for Damian Priest to try cash in and get a win. They could even do something like Jinder Mahal wins and Damian Priest cashes in on Jinder Mahal and takes it. They could. So, yeah, it's the scene for that World Heavyweight Championship is stacked right about now. What I'm saying is Drew McIntyre's performances, his name is right in that hat. I don't think CM Punk is going to win the title, but his name is in the hat. Like, I think Drew should be higher in that totem pole than CM Punk, at least right now. And if he keeps putting up these performances, it's going to be undeniable because he's doing some great stuff. He even teased the fact that, we all know his contract is soon coming to an end. I think Drew McIntyre's contract comes to an end in April, his WWE contract, and he even teased in that promo, like, oh, maybe I'll even, take a break from WWE, take a step back from WWE, whatever he said. So, yeah, they're doing a lot of good work with Drew. He's delivering, whatever they might be planning. The world title scene is something. There's a lot of good names, intriguing names in and around it. And obviously being on the road to Mania with a couple stops in Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, it's going to be very interesting how this all pans out. But yeah, just looking at the chat again, big up everyone that's watching live, big up everyone that's going to watch this back. Jonesy Chats Wrestling says your thoughts on the Impact signings. We opened the show talking about those, bro. So you might need to listen back. But yeah, generally Impacts are doing a really good job. TNA as they now are as of 2024. Yeah, they're doing a really, really good job. Very impressed. But yeah, I'm trying to think, is there anything else I really wanted to discuss today? I think that's mainly it. We've got obviously Dynamite this week. We've got Samoa Joe versus Hook. They gave Hook a win against some big man on Collision. For those that watch Collision, it was pretty much a squash match. But I don't know. I think we'll probably see some hope spots for Hook on Dynamite. He's gonna come close to getting a result over Samoa Joe some way, somehow. But yeah, Joe's got to win. Joe's got to retain that. I don't want to hear any stories. Don't want to see no funny business. Joe's got to retain, and then we move from there. But yeah, guys, that is this week's podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you're new here, and I will catch you in the next one. WrestleManiac UK signing out, and I'll see you soon.